I was standing there, holding my purse so tight my fingers hurt, while my sister laughed like I was nothing. Not joking laughter. The kind that says you don't belong here. Go find another table, she said. This one's for real family. Everyone heard it. My parents smiled. My brother looked away. And the waiter just waited. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sat down. Because I had no idea yet that this would be the last night they ever treated me like I was disposable. Victoria leaned back in her chair, crossing her arms, enjoying every second. Relax, she said, laughing softly. It's just the truth. You're adopted. Why are you acting shocked? My mother sighed dramatically, like I was the problem. Don't start, Rachel. You always make things awkward when attention isn't on you. I swallowed hard and turned to my father. Dad? He didn't even look up. He cut his steak slowly and said, sit down. You're embarrassing everyone. Embarrassing. Not humiliated. Not attacked. Just embarrassing. The restaurant went quiet. Crystal glasses, white tablecloths, strangers pretending not to stare while listening to every word. I felt small. Exposed. But I sat. Victoria smiled, victorious. Good girl. My chest burned. 22 years with this family. 22 years of being reminded I was the extra piece. The charity case. The mistake they tolerated because it made them look generous. My brother raised his glass. To family, he said, without even glancing at me. Everyone clinked glasses. No one looked at me. At the far end of the table, Grandma Dorothy watched everything in silence. Her hands trembled slightly. She said nothing. But her eyes never left my face. And for the first time that night, I realized someone knew the truth. I pushed food around my plate, pretending I wasn't shaking. My mother leaned toward me and whispered, try to look grateful. People are watching. I am grateful, I whispered back. I just didn't know I wasn't family anymore. She straightened up, annoyed. Don't twist things. Victoria laughed again. Oh please. You always do this. You play the victim like we didn't save you. Save me. I looked at her. You didn't save me. You reminded me every day that I owed you. The table froze. My father finally looked up. His eyes were cold. Enough. You ruin every special moment. Special for who? I asked. My voice cracked. Because this feels like a trial. He stood slightly, lowering his voice. You want the truth? You were never meant to stay forever. That sentence landed hard. Never meant to stay. That's when I felt it. A stare. I turned my head slowly. Grandma Dorothy wasn't just watching anymore. She was gripping the edge of the table, knuckles white, lips pressed tight like she was holding back an explosion. Our eyes locked. And in that silent second, she gave me a look I had never seen before. Not pity. Not shame. Recognition. And suddenly, the humiliation didn't feel like the end. It felt like the beginning of something they had buried for years. Dinner dragged on like nothing had happened. Laughter returned. Wine was poured. I sat there, quiet, invisible again. But Grandma Dorothy didn't touch her food. When my father stood to take a call, she leaned toward me, her voice barely above a breath. Don't say anything, she whispered. Not yet. My heart jumped. About what? Her eyes flicked to the others. About who you really are. I stared at her. What does that mean? She placed her hand over mine. Her skin was warm, shaking. They lied to you. All of them. I felt dizzy. Grandma, please. You were never a charity case, she said firmly. You were protected. Footsteps approached. She pulled her hand back instantly. Victoria sat down again. What's this? Secret conversations now? Grandma smiled sweetly. Just old women's nonsense. But she looked at me once more before turning away. Tonight. Be ready. The rest of the meal passed in slow motion. Every laugh felt fake. Every word sounded rehearsed. I kept replaying her sentence in my head. They lied to you. If that was true, then everything I believed about my place in that family was wrong. And if everything was wrong, then someone had worked very hard to keep me small. The dinner finally ended. Chairs scraped. Goodbyes were forced. My mother kissed my cheek like nothing was wrong. Try to do better next time, she whispered. I walked to my car with my chest tight, replaying every word. Then I heard my name. Rachel. Grandma Dorothy stood under the yellow parking lot light, her coat wrapped tight around her thin frame. Come with me, she said. Now. I hesitated. I thought you said not yet. I said not at the table. Her voice was sharp. This can't wait. We drove in silence to her house. Midnight ticked past on the dashboard clock. Inside, she didn't offer tea. She didn't sit. She opened a drawer and pulled out a thick envelope. They planned this, she said. The humiliation. They wanted you small. Grateful. Quiet. I laughed nervously. Why would they do that? Her eyes filled with tears. Because if you ever found out the truth, everything they built would collapse. My stomach dropped. What truth? She placed the envelope in my hands. Your father isn't who you think he is, she said slowly. And neither is your past. My hands shook. Then who am I? She looked at me like she'd been waiting 22 years to answer. You're the one thing they were afraid of. I opened the envelope with shaking hands. Old documents. Yellowed edges. Official stamps. This is a birth certificate, I whispered. But, that's not my last name. Grandma Dorothy nodded slowly. Because you were never meant to carry theirs. I looked up. Then why did they raise me? She exhaled sharply. Because your real father died suddenly. And before he did, he left something behind. My heart pounded. What did he leave? Power, she said. And money. More than your family could ever imagine. I laughed in disbelief. You're saying they kept me close out of love? Her face hardened. No. Out of fear. She pulled out another document and slid it toward me. A trust. My name on every page. They controlled the narrative, she said. They told you you were lucky. That you owed them. So you'd never question why nothing was ever in your name. My chest tightened. They knew this whole time? Yes, she said. And they planned to keep you ignorant until the will reading. Until it was too late. I stood up, dizzy. So tonight wasn't random. No, Grandma said softly. It was practice. Practice for erasing you completely. I clenched the papers in my fist. They wanted me small. They had no idea what they'd just awakened. I paced the living room, papers spread across the table like evidence in a trial. They're going to destroy this, I said. They'll deny everything. Grandma Dorothy shook her head. Not if you stay silent. Silent? I snapped. They humiliated me. And they expect you to explode, she said calmly. Tears. Accusations. Drama. I stopped. So what do I do? You smile, she said. You let them believe they won. The idea felt wrong. Weak. I don't know if I can. She stepped closer. They raised you to doubt yourself. Not to be powerless. She pulled out her phone and showed me an email. Tomorrow morning. Will reading. Their moment. My stomach twisted. They planned this fast. Yes, she said. They think you're unprepared. I laughed softly, bitter. They think I'm still the girl at the table. Grandma smiled for the first time that night. And that's why they'll fail. I folded the documents carefully. What if they try to cut me out? They will, she said. And that's when you speak. I took a deep breath. What do I say? She met my eyes. You say exactly what scares them most. The lawyer's office smelled like coffee and polished wood. Power. Control. Tradition. My family sat together, perfectly aligned. My mother held her purse tight. My father whispered to Victoria, calm, confident. Like men who already knew the ending. I sat alone. Victoria glanced at me and smirked. Didn't expect you to show up. I was invited, I said quietly. My father leaned back. This won't take long. The lawyer entered, serious, carrying a folder thick enough to end lives. Thank you all for coming, he said. We'll begin. My pulse thundered. He read names. Assets. Properties. Applause disguised as silence. Then he cleared his throat. Regarding Rachel. Victoria leaned forward. She's not blood. The lawyer paused. That's not relevant. My father smiled thinly. We already handled that. The lawyer frowned. Handled what? The omission, my father said. She's not entitled to anything. The room went still. I felt every eye on me. This was it. The moment they erased me. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I smiled. And the lawyer looked up, confused. Sir, he said slowly, you may want to reconsider that statement. The room froze. My grandmother entered quietly, her presence commanding attention without a word. Silver hair perfectly styled, eyes sharp as glass. Mother, my father began, voice tight. This is unnecessary. She ignored him. She walked past the roomful of smug faces and stopped beside me. Her hand rested lightly on my shoulder. Comfort. Strength. Justice. You've spent decades mocking her, Grandma Dorothy said slowly, voice low, cutting. Belittling, excluding, laughing at her pain. Tonight, it ends. Victoria scoffed. She's just an adopted girl. You can't. Can't what? Grandma Dorothy's eyes burned. She is more family than all of you combined. She has shown character, resilience, integrity. All you have shown is greed. I swallowed hard, my throat tight, every past insult rushing back. $3,270 for humiliation at dinner. Every word. Every sneer. Every withheld opportunity. She turned to the lawyer. Proceed with the new will. Every asset, every account, every property goes to Rachel. Effective immediately. Silence. Shock. Disbelief. My chest heaved. Finally, justice was real. Victoria's face went pale, her perfect makeup cracking as if heat had hit wax. You can't do this, she screamed, slamming her hand on the table. Watch me, Grandma Dorothy said calmly, unwavering. My parents stammered, scrambling for words, but no one dared challenge her authority. I sat frozen, clutching my purse, remembering every humiliation over 22 years. The $3,270 bill still burned in my mind, the waiter's eyes on me, the laughter echoing. They thought money could silence me, that their power over my life lasted forever. Grandma Dorothy's lawyer slid a folder across the table. All legal, notarized yesterday, he said. Victoria trembled. Kenneth looked like he might faint. My father's face drained of color. You've spent my granddaughter's childhood mocking her, Dorothy continued, voice sharp. Tonight, she pays no more. In fact, she inherits everything I've built. Every last dollar. The room erupted into chaos. But I didn't move. I couldn't believe freedom could feel like this, sudden, overwhelming, and intoxicating. Victoria's scream pierced the restaurant, sharp and unhinged. You can't just give her everything. She's not even blood. Kenneth tried to grab her arm, but his own anger was trembling. Mom, Dad, think about what you're doing, he shouted, voice cracking. I stayed silent, letting every insult, every betrayal from my childhood replay in my mind. The years of feeling invisible, of being humiliated, finally had a counterweight, justice. Grandma Dorothy's eyes locked on me, steel and warmth mixed. She has earned it, she said, her voice steady despite her frailty. Through character, resilience, and hard work, not through blood, not through cruelty. My parents stuttered, trying to protest, but the evidence was irrefutable: contracts, bank statements, witnesses, a lifetime of proof. The room felt like it was tilting, their power evaporating as their own greed exposed them. For the first time, I felt the strange, dizzying weight of triumph, and the serenity of finally belonging to someone who truly loved me. I stepped forward, my voice steady but firm. You want to know the truth? I said, letting every word land. For 22 years, you humiliated me, ignored me, and made me feel like I was nothing. And on top of that, you stole $750,000 that was meant for me as a child. Patricia gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Gregory stammered, that's impossible. I held up the folder Grandma Dorothy had given me. Bank statements. Transfers. Documents proving your lies. You spent what was mine, while I worked 3 jobs to survive community college. And tonight, I paid $3,270 for your fancy dinner like a charity case. Victoria's face twisted in rage. You're lying. She manipulated Dorothy. Grandma Dorothy cut her off with a single, icy gaze. She has manipulated nothing. She has survived your cruelty and built her life from nothing. And I've made sure the legacy goes to the one who deserves it. Shock, fury, and disbelief mingled in the room. For the first time, the scales had shifted, justice was no longer a promise, it was happening. Victoria lunged forward, pointing a trembling finger at me. You can't just take everything. That's not fair. You don't belong here. I met her eyes, my voice calm but cutting. I belong more than any of you ever did. I worked for every cent, built my business from scratch, and survived the life you made miserable for me. Kenneth stepped in, trying to mediate. Rachel, maybe we can talk, find some compromise. I shook my head. There's nothing to compromise. 22 years of lies, humiliation, and theft are not negotiable. Grandma Dorothy has seen everything, she's chosen justice. My parents' faces twisted with panic. Patricia whispered, but she's not even your real daughter. Grandma Dorothy's voice rang through the room, unwavering, she's more my daughter than any of you ever were. Character matters, blood does not. The inheritance is hers, because she earned it through courage, perseverance, and integrity. The room fell silent, the weight of truth pressing down. Victoria's shoulders slumped, her rage faltering into disbelief. The family empire of cruelty was crumbling before my eyes, and I was finally free. The silence still hung in the air as Grandma Dorothy took my hand. Rachel, come with me. It's time to leave all of this behind. Thomas opened the car door, waiting patiently. I felt the weight of years lifting from my shoulders. As we drove away, I saw Victoria screaming at the gate, powerless to stop what had already been decided. Kenneth tried to argue, but he looked small against the truth surrounding us. Everything is going to change now, my dear, Grandma Dorothy said softly. You'll have freedom, security, and the resources to build the life you've always deserved. My heart raced, a mix of fear and relief. For the first time, no one could humiliate, control, or diminish me. The past still hurt, but the thought of a future where I was valued, respected, and truly free gave me strength. The morning air felt lighter, cleaner, and I could feel the energy of justice that had finally arrived. I stood in the grand hall, heart pounding, as Victoria and my parents tried one last time to intimidate me. "Rachel, this isn't yours. You don't deserve any of it," my mother spat, her voice shaking. I didn't flinch. I held up the documents Grandma Dorothy had entrusted to me, the trust, the companies, every contract airtight. "You're wrong," I said, my voice steady. "Everything here was earned, and everything you tried to take from me? It's gone." Kenneth's smug smile faded as I revealed the evidence of his sabotage, all meticulously documented. Victoria's face paled, and my parents' jaws dropped. I watched as their attempts to manipulate, intimidate, and humiliate me crumbled before my eyes. "This house, these companies, this life, nothing is given, everything is earned," I continued. "And now, I choose to build a future I deserve." For the first time, I felt the weight lift from my shoulders. The humiliation, the betrayal, the doubt, it all dissolved in that moment. I had won. Not with anger, but with strategy, courage, and truth. I took a deep breath, stepping forward with confidence, knowing that my life was finally mine to shape, free from their shadows and lies. The sun was setting over the estate as I walked through the gardens, each step a reminder that I had fought and prevailed. Grandma Dorothy came to my side, holding my hand. "You did it, Rachel. You never let anyone define you." I smiled, looking at the lake reflecting gold and pink hues. "I did it for myself, and for every part of me they tried to break." From that day on, I ran the companies, grew the business, and built a life filled with respect, freedom, and love. Victoria and my parents slowly faded from my story, powerless to touch my happiness. I had claimed my justice, my voice, and my future. And in the quiet of that golden evening, I knew finally, I was unstoppable. If Rachel's courage inspired you, hit that like button and let her victory remind you that standing up for yourself always pays off. Tell me in the comments, have you ever faced betrayal and fought back like Rachel? I want to hear your story. Share this video with anyone who needs a little courage today, and tag someone who underestimated you once, so they can see what happens when you refuse to be broken. And don't forget to subscribe for more shocking stories of justice, courage, and clever revenge. You won't want to miss what's coming next.